Can I ask a question about the speaker's comments this morning? She said, among other things, that she realized that when during these briefings, 2002, 2003, she concluded that the problem was the policy and that it needed to be changed by electing Democratic Congress, Democratic President, and now that that's happened, the policy has been changed. Could you respond, please?
Yeah, I find it quite unbelievable that the Speaker of the House believes that politics comes before national security. In 2002, she was the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee. That's a position that I hold today. From 2003, when she received the second, or her staff received the second briefing, to 2004, she was the minority leader of the House. And what I heard her say, and I was quite taken aback by it when she said it, is politics are more important than national security. So I spent my time, rather than trying to influence this policy, I took my time focused on politics to elect a Democrat majority. I think that is that's a very dangerous precedent. You know, when I was appointed to the Intelligence Committee, when I was appointed chairman in 2004 by Speaker Hastert, and then appointed as the ranking member by the current minority leader, John Boehner, they made it very, very clear that I was representing them on this important job, and it was my job to keep them fully informed and to develop the right policy to keep America safe. And you would think that in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, that we would be focused on making sure that we had the right policy in place and not worried about the next election, whether it's 2002, 2004, 2006. So basically what the Speaker has said, that up until she became the Speaker in 2006, it was all about politics and forget about the policy. I can tell you, as the ranking member today, we've already taken, and even in the last session of Congress, we spent a lot of time focused on policy, making sure that we get the policy right and recognize that there is another time and another place to deal with the politics. You don't deal with the politics when you're the ranking member or the Speaker of the House or the minority leader. Politics doesn't come first when it comes to national security. That may explain why we've had some of the problems that we've had.
I want to add to that we have taken steps in the Gang of Four and in the Intelligence Committees to stop things, planned actions that we felt were too risky, unwise, or unsound. Obviously, I'm not going to go into what it was, but we know that we can have an impact. There are many things that could have been done. Bringing in the leadership, even going to the floor of the House using the protection of the speech and debate clause to raise questions about it and to raise objections. There are efforts that you can make in the appropriations process to stop that. There are a whole range of actions, and she did not take them. Peter and I, whether it's a Republican or a Democratic administration, if they're doing things that we think make our country less safe, like closing Gitmo without a plan, we're going to speak out about them. Whether if it's in open session, we'll do that, or whether it is in classified session, we will do that. We are not here to say that we want to see the Gitmo detainees brought to the United States and allow the voters of America in 2012 to act on that. We think national security requires action now. That's why we're talking about Gitmo. That's why we're talking about other things.
Senator Bond, the Senate Intelligence Committee is reviewing the interrogation techniques. I think the House Intelligence Committee is also. You now have a situation in which both Speaker Pelosi and former Senator Bob Graham have said they were specifically told waterboarding was not being used in the September 2002 briefings. Speaker Pelosi said specifically they were misled because we now know from reports that a detainee had been waterboarded 83 times beforehand. Have you talked to the chairman about inviting Bob Graham to come testify, Richard Shelby, and on the House side, will Pelosi come testify? Porter Goss about what they were told back then? Because it's a serious allegation that she has lodged, that they were specifically misled about what was being used.
We will determine our hearing schedule when we get the information that we are seeking from the intelligence community and specifically the CIA. We know that Porter Goss has been on record contradicting what the Speaker now says. We have seen what the CIA notes reflect, and they obviously, the briefing occurred after one of the detainees had been waterboarded, and the CIA notes indicate that they were being briefed on what was being used and was to be used. When we were finally briefed in on it, the committee, the full committee was briefed not just on what had happened, but at that briefing they told us what was going to be used, what kinds of techniques were to be used, and I believe that is the purpose of holding those briefings. The briefings are not to be held to talk about things that aren't going to be used. That doesn't provide you any useful insight. So I will discuss with the chair, Senator Feinstein, who is to be called, and we will make that determination after we've reviewed the information.